Coming up on this episode of Greg's Garage. Have you seen the video Mind Party with Johnny Lewis? Well, we talked to him to get the behind-the-scenes scoop on the making of that awesomeness. We'll ride on Yamaha's versatile naked bike, the FZ8. Now, how do you determine what riding gear to buy? We'll start to uncover things you should be looking for. Indian Motorcycles is back in the mix. We'll take a closer look at what's new with the iconic brand. We have worldwide video, motorcycle slang. We'll take the shock out of spark plugs and more right now. Hello everyone and welcome to Greg's Garage, the Powersports lifestyle show on the internet. I'm your host Greg White and we have a packed show for you today. Before we get going, I want to let you know if you ever have any questions or comments, you have some information about the power sports industry you'd like to know, feel free to send us an email, show@gregsgaragetv.com. Like I said, the show's got a lot of content today, so we got to get to it. Let's start off with the news. Let me start with a heartwarming story about a 61-year-old man from Medina, Washington. With his recently purchased Ducati, the man was out on a nice cruise Monday the 6th of May. He decided to see what it could do. So he opened up the throttle and blammo, the dude got pulled over for 130 miles an hour in a 55 zone. Ouch! A healthy $1,103. That's the fine. The KING5 report said that Lieutenant Steve Mitchell of the Oregon State Police said the man could also have his license suspended. Yeah, he just might. Now this is something I thought was interesting. Powersportsbusiness.com is reporting that Yamaha Watercraft announced last month that it would be offering dealers a competitively priced program to sell pre-owned Wave Runners. It's a simple program. Dealers can buy any used Wave Runner model that's made within the last 6 years that has less than 200 hours on the engine. They'll undergo a 35-point inspection for quality, get certified, and there will even be a 12-month YES, which is Yamaha Extended Service Warranty, offered. Now, with 90% of the personal watercraft being sold to private sellers, this could open up the market a little bit. Well, Cycle World magazine, via their website, www.cycleworld.com, revealed Suzuki's new MotoGP prototype. Technical stud Kevin Cameron used his years of amassed knowledge to break down what he thinks the new Suzuki's all about. Now, just through some photos, he was able to tell the frame, the engine configuration, and more. Go to the show page for the link to the story. And finally, the Ride for Kids charity event, which the funds go to the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation, raised over $343,000 on May 5th. And that was just from 3 rides: Albuquerque, New Mexico, Los Angeles, California, and North Carolina Triangle. We were in attendance in North Carolina, and we'll have a story on another show. It always warms my heart to see the generosity of motorcycle enthusiasts. It's all about helping the children who have been diagnosed with brain tumors. Now, if you want to participate, visit www.rideforkids.org. You can find a ride close to you. They have them in over 40 cities across the United States. Out of the garage and into California we go to Yamaha headquarters, where we're going to test the FZ8 naked bike. Yeah, ladies, I said naked bike. Why they call it a naked bike? Well, because imagine it's a sport bike with no bodywork. Got it? Let's go ride it. So let us get into the nuts and bolts of this, as Yamaha categorizes it. Sport bike. But me, like I said, I'm putting it in the naked bike category. A sleeve down R1 motor gets you to 799 cc's. It has some trick bits in the engine like ceramic composite coated cylinders, forged aluminum pistons, 16 valves, etc. The updates for 2013 are rebound damping, adjustability for the shocks, rebound and compression damping adjustment for the forks, some cosmetic stuff, dual textured seat, and a new muffler shape, making it more attractive. It also has a cool FC1 style white face tachometer. It's got a 4.5 gallon tank, 32.1 inch seat height, and it sips dead dinosaurs at around 39 miles per gallon. And did I mention it's naked? Ugh. Now that was a lot of fun. The FZ8, wow, I'm really impressed. Just a well-balanced motorcycle all around, and there's new suspension changes for 2013. One of the biggest talking points for owners of this motorcycle from earlier years, all that's fixed. It goes over bumps well, it has adjustability in it, so you actually have some range to fix it. It's got a lot of technology in this bike, some ceramic bits in the motor and some aluminum pistons, and of course the chassis and the swing arm are R1 derived from a few years ago. The instrument cluster is super easy to see. The throttle response is really good, and I love it when I get this thing over 8,000 RPM. It really starts to open up. So, you know, the greatest thing about the FZ8, in my opinion, is it gives you extra displacement over the 600, and it kind of tones down that 1,000 quite a bit. So it gives you that fill in, right? It fills in the gap between a 600 and 1,000. You can ride this thing comfortably around town with stoplights, no problem. The clutch is easy to work. You can take it out onto the freeway. The wind will hit you because there's no fairing there to really speak of, but you can manage that. But also, you could take this to the track if you wanted to and do a track day. Definitely carve some canyons. If you're looking for a really competent bike that does everything well, get down to your Yamaha dealer and check out the FZ8. What a pleasure to ride. I think I want to go do a couple more hours on this thing if Yamaha will give me permission to. So I'll see you later. Now it's time to check out some highlights of some cool videos I've found and think you should be watching in the segment that we call Worldwide Video. Now, last time we showed you both US and Japanese motorcycle cops have an amazing control on a motorcycle. But check out this video posted by Auto Review Full. This motorcycle control is awesome. And since we're on the topic, an older video, but it's just plain fun. If you haven't seen this one posted by Switch Riders, it's worth a look. The now closed Carlsbad Raceway in Carlsbad, California was the site of many iconic motorcycle events over the years. A lot of Motorcycle Hall of Fame riders cut their teeth in that dirt. Well, recently, VMX Life shot a bit about the Carlsbad reunion, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Gary Faxon. I had to stop here to get some dirt from the old Carlsbad area because a lot of my life, literally 45 years, was spent here, and I couldn't let it come.
How many?
45 years. I just had to come up here and get some dirt, and then to put this on my shelf and say that was part of my life.
Okay.
There you go.
Some of the real dirt from the genuine Carlsbad right off the starting line. Okay, they're at the line. I know Faxon's there, Burnworth, Gibson, Tripes, they're all on the line over there. There they come! Oh, Faxon's in the lead. Here he comes. Go, Gary, go! Woo, woo, woo!
You got numbers, is that right?
But I wanted to take a ride in the ambulance.
And speaking of old racers, just kidding, Kevin, MotorcycleSuperstore.com has put together a couple interviews with moto star and recently retired Kevin Windham.
First time I've ever done an interview like this. Dude, if I crash and get hurt, I want a piece of this Medford track. Yeah, I've been really busy. Retirement has not been quite as peaceful as, and slow as most would think. I've actually been quite busy, and there's always a requirement of a rider, but their number one goal is to be prepared for the upcoming race. Well, I don't have the upcoming race to prepare for, so been getting to do some cool stuff, around the industry, coming from different areas, stuff like this shoot we're doing here today in Medford, and just a lot of cool opportunities like that. So that's kind of been the new phase. It's been fun.
Will Kevin ever make a comeback? I doubt it. But one company that's made a comeback, or another comeback, is Indian Motorcycles. And a few months ago, they put out a nice 1 minute and 40-second video telling us all about it.
For the first half of the 20th century, no other motorcycle equaled the innovation, spirit, or loyalty of an Indian. Which begs the question, what if? What if the full engineering prowess and unparalleled craftsmanship of the original Indian Motorcycle Company had continued full throttle into the 21st century? That question has been answered. Indian is back and ready to retake our rightful place at the top of the motorcycling industry. We will lead by staying true to what made us America's first and greatest motorcycle company. Purposeful engineering, unparalleled craftsmanship, and superior American quality. We will inspire riders everywhere who want to enrich their lives, not escape from them. Riders who don't need to be sold an image because they're comfortable with their own. Riders who want to create their own legacy on a pure, authentic American motorcycle built for the road ahead. Indian Motorcycle has returned and will once again produce the most innovative and authentic bikes known to man.
I was intrigued to know more, so it's time to bring in the man who can get us up to speed on Indian Motorcycle's latest, Robert Pandya. Welcome to the show, Robert. How are you?
How you doing, Greg? Congratulations on the show, man. It's great. I've been enjoying watching it.
Oh, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate that, and appreciate you having you on the show, because there's a lot going on with Indian Motorcycles right now, isn't there? Tell us about it.
Yeah, there really is. A lot of folks think that the brand kind of went away, and it did for a while. It officially went out of business in 1953, and then it was sort of picked up, and the name was licensed, and it kind of went through some ups and downs in its heritage. And Polaris Industries purchased the Indian brand name from an operation out of Kings Mountain in April of 2011, and in less than 2 years. We fired up a brand new engine, and we just revealed that a little while ago. That's on my screen behind me there. That's the new Thunderstroke 111. And So Polaris is going to make a run of it, and they're going to bring this great, iconic American brand back to the forefront where it belongs.
Tell us about the 111 and what it's all about. I mean, there's been a lot of talk, people saying, oh, there's bits and pieces borrowed here and there, but I've seen the video and it really seems to be brand new from the ground up.
Yeah, it is absolutely that. It's a 100% new engine. It's not any sort of existing engine. So, I mean, I'll say flat out, it is not an S&S motor. It is not a Victory motor with different covers on it or anything like that. This is a 100% new engine from the ground up. And it was really important that Indian have an engine that sort of leans on its heritage for the style a little bit, but of course it has modern performance. You know, back in the day, believe it or not, Indian was a performance-oriented brand. They were born out of racing. They won the first time they went to the Isle of Man TT, for instance, in 1911 it was. They took first, second, and third place. And absolutely dominated the track and blew the Europeans away. So, I mean, performance is a big part of what the Indian heritage is, and the Thunderstroke 111 is going to deliver that huge torque. It's got over 115 foot-pounds of torque. But it delivers all that in sort of a style and in a way that you, as soon as you see the engine, you're like, that's an Indian engine. You get it.
Mm-hmm. I totally get that. So, you started with the power plant, with the foundation, and now you're building motorcycles around it. And yesterday, Monday, was a really big announcement for you folks, right?
Yeah, it was, Greg. We just announced that we're going to reveal the bike in Sturgis. And we'll let everybody know exactly when in a little bit still, but we're going to reveal it in Sturgis. The Sturgis Motorcycle Rally was started by the Jack Pine Gypsies, which again is a club that was around racing and that sort of thing. They put on flat track races and hill climbs and that sort of deal. And basically the Jack Pine Gypsies started what has become the world's biggest motorcycle rally. So to have Indian relaunch the iconic Chief, that's the other announcement that we made, is that we are coming out with a Chief, right? For Indian to relaunch that Chief in Sturgis is just a big deal. We felt like it was the right thing to do against history and against the timeline of the brand. And I tend to look at things through what I call like historical goggles, right? So 30, 40, 50 years from now, is what we're doing right now, is that the right thing? Does it feel right in sort of a backwards looking perspective? And relaunching the Chief at Sturgis, I mean, I can't imagine a better way to do that.
It's not the only thing that's been going on with Indian, is it? There's a lot of promotion, a lot of things going on as it relates to the brand to help really, get people aware that Indian's back in the full mix.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the big things is like dealers. You know, there's not that many Indian dealers right now, and particularly people who are used to coming off of a brand from our friends out in Milwaukee. They're used to coming off a brand that has a dealership. They seem ubiquitous. They're all over the place, but they're ready for a choice. They're ready for something new. The first question they're going to ask is, well, what are you building? Well, we just told you we're building a Chief, right? I said, well, the Indians are really expensive. Well, we just announced yesterday that pricing is going to start at $18,999, which is way less than what it has been in the recent past. So it's a lot more approachable brand. And one of the things that we're working on very aggressively is building up the dealer network. So behind the scenes, there are tons of people that are working on our new dealer network. It's not automatic if you're a Victory dealer that you're going to be an Indian dealer. There's a whole different set of sort of criteria for that. And we're really excited. Again, we're just bringing an American brand back to where it should be. It's really a great American story, and very proud to be part of it.
So how do we find out more information about Indian, especially with all these things that you're rolling out right now? We've got to keep up to date with what's going on. How?
Well, we definitely have a lot of great information on our website, and that's indianmotorcycle.com. That's motorcycle singular.
Yep.
If we were super old school, it'd be motocycle, but you know, we have motorcycle, right? Anyway, indianmotorcycle.com has a bunch of just great videos, behind the scenes stuff. We brought out when we introduced that Thunderstroke 111 engine. In fact, we had a custom motorcycle that was built, and the first bike built with that engine was a Spirit of Monroe, this super cool streamliner. that's been a pet project for a long time, and I'm super happy to have that finally out in the public where I can say, this is what we've been working on, you know. And it's really, it's a beautiful machine, but it's not a trailer queen. It's built to go, and we're hoping to get a run on after we display it a little bit. We can't get it too dirty or too beat up right off the bat. You know, we want to show it off, but all that sort of stuff all filters through the IndianMotorcycle.com website. We've got an app at the Apple Store and on the Google Play Store as well that you could download, and it's got some great Indian motorcycle features to it as well.
When do I get to ride one?
Well, it'll be after Sturgis.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
That's
I would
right.
love to give it a go and take it around here in some roads on the East Coast and get a feel for that torque. I can't wait to have that torque.
It's really a fun bike, and I'll tell you, I have had a chance to ride one of the pre-production bikes and some testing. And Greg, I've known you for a long time, you know, and I came from a European motorcycle brand, and I love racing, and you know, I count a bunch of great road racers out there as friends, and so I love doing track days and that kind of thing. So I've got a bit of a performance mindset to myself, and I tell you, when you get on the Indian, even if you're a little bit of a younger guy, you're just kind of starting to think about cruisers, you'll be surprised about how great the bike handles, and it's just a lot of fun. So.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and thanks for getting us up to date on what's going on with Indian. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh wow, this is great, they're back in the mix. So appreciate you spending time with us here in Greg's Garage.
Hey, thanks for all the work that you're doing out there, and I'm sure we'll see you down the road, okay?
Yeah, definitely. All right, so from Indian motorcycles, now we're going to transition into something I talked about a little earlier, which is safety gear. Take a walk with me. The first thing we're going to start off with is a full suit. So we're going to start at the top, and I'm going to give you some information about things you should be looking for, whether you're buying a suit, you're buying a jacket, buying pants. We'll get into boots and gloves and jackets individually later on in some shows down the road. But let's start with this Alpine Star suit that's provided for me by A-Stars. This is their race replica suit. I want to start at the top. You'll notice here that this leather is combined with neoprene. And the reason for that is the suit is designed to be in a tuck position, and the neoprene helps rubbing in the back of your neck. Now, as we move on down the suit, you're going to notice the design of the stitching and the way that the leather folds over. When you hit the ground, generally you're going to be moving in this direction, and so they try to make the stitching in that direction so it won't grab and pull. Speaking of grabbing and pulling, look at the armor on the shoulder. Now, what this material is, a lot of people think it's for impact, but actually this is for when you hit the ground, your shoulder will slide. Imagine taking your finger and sliding it across a table, and you'll feel how it sticks. Now take your fingernail, flip it over, and then slide that on the table. When you hit the ground, you want to have your shoulder slide over the ground, not grip. When it grips, they've found over years of experience that you've had a separated shoulder. So this is designed to help prevent or reduce the amount of separated shoulders. Moving down the arm, you can see the design here. It's almost an L shape, and that design, of course, is to be a tuck on the motorcycle. As you look at the stitching again, this is double and triple stitched in some spots. Generally, when you hit the ground, you're going to be moving in that direction, and so the seam is going that way. On the elbow, this is designed as well, when you hit the ground, for your elbow to slide, and of course now riders like Marc Marquez and MotoGP are using this for elbow sliders. Notice on this part of the arm, no seams, a high impact area. Going to the inside, you'll notice that there's neoprene material here for more comfort. That's something you want to look for as well, because Alpine Stars, Day and Easy, Speedy, all these companies that do massive amounts of research when it comes to safety gear have determined that this area is not as high impact. Now we move to the mid part of the suit, you're going to notice a reduced amount of perforation. Anytime there's perforation in leather, that's a weak spot. Notice the zipper is well stitched in here and well covered as well, not only for air but also for safety protection. As we move down to look at the leg, notice the double and triple stitching. There's more protection on the knee, so when you hit the ground, then of course removable knee pucks. Now inside this area is CE certified armor, and that is a certification that's starting to sweep the nation, and Alpine Stars actually has one entire suit that is CE certified. This particular suit, the material is in the padding, which you have in your knees, you have them in your elbows and your shoulders as well. Now if we open up the suit, a really good suit or a good jacket is going to have an inner liner that you can wash, so those days that you're really stinky, it's not going to kill your leathers forever. There's a place here where you can actually attach your back protector that goes right there. Now let's go ahead and zip this up and flip the suit around. I want to show you some features on the back. Now, being a race replica suit, this suit in particular is designed to be airbag ready. So you actually have in the hump an area here where you can put a computer and the airbag system will go in there. You have to send it back to Alpine Stars. But this hump is actually designed for airflow as well. It helps airflow go from the helmet right over the rider's back. If you look at the panels here, the Kevlar panels, those are reinforced and they're made for comfort as well. Again, a lot of research and development. Different thicknesses and different parts of the suit as well go into the seat is a little bit thicker. So all of that experience in trying to make the maximum amount of protection for a suit. So with all that knowledge, when you go out searching for either a full leather suit or a leather jacket, be aware of some of the features and benefits that are built into the suit for safety. Because in the long run, they may not only protect your hide, but with a separated shoulder, it's going to keep you riding for a lot longer. Hope that helped. Now the conversation is going to change to maintaining your motorcycle's engine performance. One part that a lot of riders neglect, the spark plug. While we were in Indianapolis at the Dealer Expo, we had a chance to talk to NGK about spark plugs and get a little more education.
To understand spark plugs, there are several different types of spark plugs. The OE manufacturer, if you have a Honda, Suzuki, Yamaha, whoever it is, there's actually a lot of engineering that goes into the plug that's selected for that motorcycle. So at the engineering stage, that's where the plug is designed and developed. Now usually the original manufacturer, the motorcycle company, they're going to want a good quality plug, something that's going to give good performance, good price, and good longevity. Now on a lot of the newer bikes, the 4-strokes and some of the higher end motorcycles, you do have some different plug options. There's some long life plugs that are beginning to be used more and more as original equipment. An example of that would be something like this. You'll see here, it's a fine wire iridium tip center electrode. And a lot of times on these plugs also, they'll have a small area of platinum at the inside of the ground electrode. And that's for longevity. So the plugs now have a longer service interval than they used to before. We see from time to time, there are certain bikes, a lot of the 2-stroke off-road bikes, motocross bikes, some of them were engineered when they were released originally. They used racing plugs as original equipment. The racing plugs basically isn't for better performance. They're to basically withstand more difficult conditions. If you've got a very high vibration engine, a lot of RPMs, there's a lot of heat and vibration at the tip of the spark plug, where if we use a plug with a more traditional ground electrode, that ground electrode could actually fail. So as original equipment, the racing plugs are specified because that's a much more robust design. Now, unfortunately, there is more cost associated with that, but if the wrong plug is used, something like this, a more traditional plug is used in its place, there's no guarantee that that is going to be able to hold up under those conditions, under that heat and vibration at the tip of the plug. So we always recommend sticking with what was OE specified. If it was a racing plug that came original, this is the type of plug that you want to use as a replacement. There's two things that are going to take out a spark plug. Basically, one is gap erosion. Now, gap erosion, each time the spark plug fires, a very small amount of material is going to be blasted away from both the center electrode and the ground electrode. So over time, that gap is going to widen. The other thing that will take a spark plug out and make it no longer work is plug fouling. So when that engine's running, there's unburned fuel, carbon deposits, all of that can accumulate at the inside of the spark plug. And eventually, if that becomes severe enough where they haven't become cleaned away from the tip of the plug, we can experience spark plug fouling. So wear and fouling are the two things that can take out a spark plug. So keeping a fresh set of spark plugs in the engine will ensure starting, good throttle response, good performance every time you take the machine out. For more information, you can visit us online at ngksparkplugs.com.
More education about spark plugs. Speaking about spark plugs, how about U.S. Flat Track National Number 10, Johnny Lewis, joining us right here in Greg's garage. Johnny, what's up?
Not much, Mr. Greg. Why, how are you?
I'm good, man. The reason we're having you on is because that video that's ripping around Facebook and the whole internet is quite awesome. It's called, what? Mime Party?
Mime Party with Johnny Lewis.
We got to know more about that video. How did that whole thing come about?
It was, Triumph gave me a motorcycle at the beginning of the year, and I said, hey, I'll do some videos. And I wasn't planning on doing a video that day. I flew Thunder from Thunder Multimedia up to do a video, and that had nothing to do with motorcycles, and we didn't have no plans of riding a motorcycle. And all of a sudden my buddy calls. He's like, hey, let's go to my farm and let's go rip it up. I know Thunder's here, let's do a video. And that's how it came together. It was a last minute deal, and it ended up turning out pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good is right. So when you're like on the farm itself, are you going like, okay, here's the plan. We're gonna do this during the course of the day? Or are we literally going like, hey, that looks like a pretty cool place to ride. Let's just go ride over there on the rocks. Let's go ride up here on the hill.
Yeah, we showed up, we walked around for like, I don't know, say a half hour. And then I kind of put together in my mind, I said, hey, I want to start on the pavement, I'll go rip down the road, go into the gravel, and just kind of, go from there. And Thunder was able to kind of, stage out different shots where I was kind of put all together. And it was just, I would rip a section like, wow, that's cool, let's get this on video. Or like, hey, let's do this, perfect spot for a donut, so let's do that. And the best shot was up through the trees, wide open. It was only like second gearing, I think, because it's got street gearing. Just wide open and launching it through the trees. And that was probably the coolest shot on the whole day.
Yeah, there's one where you kind of go up over the hill, catch some air, and you're like, woo!
Yeah, I was launching it out.
Tell us about the bike. Stalker? What?
Yeah, it was bone stock. I picked it up, I think, 2 weeks before they sent it to Hannum's Triumph, which is 40 minutes from my house. Triumph sent it. It was actually the bike they used at the Aero Exhaust booth out in Indy. And it basically just had an aero exhaust in the thing. I didn't even get to prep the thing, make sure none of the bolts fell off when I started up. So it's literally off the showroom, and it lasted I did 18 miles that day in that video, just not even on tape. I just went and just free riding the thing, just having wheelies and just having fun.
And we heard it off the rev limiter quite a bit.
Yeah, it's amazing that the thing lasts, just Triumph's built strong. It's neat to, it's the way hopefully my race bike is, and have some fun on this year.
So what's the chatter around the web? People expecting another one from you?
I think so. I think they, to see me ride that motorcycle and that level was pretty neat, So a couple of my buddies who are off-road guys were like, yeah, we could do it. So I went out and did an off-road race this weekend and proved them, hey, I can I overall the A-class, and hey, it's not just, I wasn't just going pretty slow. We were ripping through the woods on this thing, and I think the level now is my videos have to step it up, as far as just even more. So
yeah, you set the bar pretty high. I mean, and you did everything in that. Like, you got a little bit of pavement on there. You got some loose, like pea gravel, almost big rocks, woods. I mean, you pretty much covered it all. That's the thing I think that's appealing, don't you? Is like you're taking a bike that can do it all, like the old school, like it used to be, and you can do everything with that bike.
Yeah, it was. And it had no problem with it. I didn't even check the tire pressure, nothing. The thing just was perfect. No matter where I took it, it was awesome. And for being a street bike, for being classified as a street bike, but also have that old school look, have some new school stuff about it. Disc brakes, all the goodies. It's neat to see that, and hopefully, there's more riding done like that. I think that shows, hey, we don't have to just ride on the streets. We can adventure more and cruise the country a little bit on these things.
So how do we find out more information about you, keep track of what's going on in your life?
I do Facebook, Johnny Lewis. It's Lewis10 is my Facebook, as well as my website is lewis10.com. And just follow me there, and plan on doing more videos. It's a couple of my sponsors are now like, hey, we want you to do some stuff for us that I think might shock some people. So it should be pretty fun this year.
Oh, you set the bar high. We mentioned it, so good luck with the next bunch of videos, and we appreciate you joining us here on Greg's Garage.
No, I appreciate you having me on. It's been great.
All right, thanks, Johnny. All right, it's time for motorcycle slang. Just a word or two to help riders communicate with each other. Today's slang, engine configuration. Engine configuration is the way the power plant's designed. For instance, you'll hear the term inline 4 or V-twin. Now, inline 4 means that the cylinders are in a line with each other, and there's 4 of them. A V-twin, on the other hand, is a 2-cylinder design that has a V configuration. Now, you may hear the numbers thrown in like 60-degree V-twin. That's the angle at which the pistons are opposed from each other. Other engine configurations you'll hear, V4, inline 6, an inline twin or inline two, single or thumper, that's the same thing. That means one lone piston. So there's the idea, engine configuration. Now that's it. It's going to do it for us on this show. We hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget, if you have some questions and you want to know something about motorcycle slang or you just want to communicate with us, show@gregsgaragetv.com. That'll do it for you. Thanks for taking time to join us, and please spread the word. Let your friends know that Greg's Garage exists. We want to be around for a long time, bringing you all kinds of new power sports stuff. Thanks a lot. See you next time. Bye-bye.